All right, thank you so much, Steph. With COVID-19 cases rising across Canada, and after consultation with the opposition, the minority Liberals will be delivering a throne speech, triggering a confidence vote in the PM. For more on what to expect, there will be a lot. I'm joined by CityNews national reporter Xiaoli Li. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Melanie.
We've never actually had a chance to speak, so it's lovely to actually do this, finally. Let's break this all down. There's going to be a lot in this speech. What are we anticipating?
Well, we're still not clear just because the Prime Minister has kept his cards very close to his chest, but there's a lot he's going to have to deal with, of course. 4 million Canadians go off CERB this week, and the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives estimates that just over half of them will qualify for EI automatically, but under 500,000 won't qualify at all, meaning they'll get nothing at a time when jobs are still uncertain. Even those who make it onto EI or one of the replacement programs are going to get less, about $123 less a week. And while that doesn't sound like a lot, some economists have pointed out that we haven't seen the bottom fall out of the economy precisely because the CERB has been here to help people with groceries, bills, rent. Chrystia Freeland also seemed to suggest last week after the Liberal cabinet retreat that the party was ready to stop this free spending that they were so fond of early in the pandemic. There's been lots of concern about national debt. The deficit this year projected at $343 billion. And of course, as this is happening, as you mentioned, COVID cases continuing to rise. All this talk about a green recovery is a bit pointless if case numbers rise and we have to go back into lockdown.
We've heard from NDP leader Jagmeet Singh asking for two things that he's looking for here. One is potentially an extension to CERB. The other, looking at paid sick days, paid sick leave, because a lot of families will have to balance that, whether or not risking going into work or losing some money. And so do you think that they're going to give in here?
It's honestly hard to say. If we saw any horse trading, we would have seen it last week. But Jagmeet Singh last week, he himself said, you know, I don't put too much stock in what the Liberals say during a throne speech. They say a lot and then do other things. So we'll have to see. But it seems unlikely that the NDP are going to be interested in triggering an election at this time.
Well, that is the big question. I don't think anyone really wants to head to the ballots. No one wants to have to do this. So, I mean, it's hard to predict. But how do you think this will all pan out?
Well, it's going to be very unusual. Of course, we live in unusual times. We have two opposition party leaders who are in self-isolation after testing positive, of course. Yves-François Blanchet from the BQ and Aaron O'Toole from the Conservative Party. We're wishing them well, of course, but it remains to be seen if they're going to be delivering their own party's response, possibly via Zoom or Skype like we're doing right now, or if they're going to have a deputy member deliver that for them. While the throne speech does come with the confidence vote, as we've been talking about, yeah, it doesn't seem likely anyone's going to trigger an election. The BQ, of course, is in self-isolation. The NDP, they say they have the money to run another race. It remains to be seen if that's the case. And there is another twist, of course. The Prime Minister is going to be addressing the nation tonight at 6:30 Ottawa time. It's not clear what he's going to talk about yet, if he's going to be giving some public health warnings after yesterday's dire modeling from Health Canada, or if he's going to try and sell us all on what is going to be in the throne speech.
Indeed, because these national addresses really are reserved for emergencies almost, right? So this will be, what do you think people are looking for in that address?
Reassurance that there is going to be some sort of end, that we're not going to be talking about masks and social distancing and COVID-19 until the end of our lives. Reassurance that they have some sort of plan to get us out of this economically, and reassurance that that plan doesn't just involve writing blank checks again and again and again. Because, of course, as I mentioned earlier, this is a serious concern for many people. Like the looming national debt is perhaps underrated in some sectors, just because this is a real concern. If you're looking at retirement anytime soon, if you're looking at lending rates anytime soon, this is something that the Liberals are going to have to deal with. And as I mentioned, of course, earlier, Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister, she's indicated that they're going to rethink that. But I mean, as Jagmeet Singh said last week, Liberals say a lot of stuff. What they do is what matters.
Indeed. And I know we're chatting again in the next half hour in our BT Canada segment. So hopefully we'll look to some reaction here, and I can get you some more questions as well. Xiaoli Li, national reporter with City News, appreciate your time. This half hour, we'll talk to you in just a bit.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks.
Thank you.